Welcome back, gangsters and gangsterettes. Ride Outdoors. We're gonna mount this trolling motor up on this kayak today. We're gonna be mounting it to the Nucanoe Pursuit. And this is the Nucanoe Bow Mount. And we'll show you how it's done right now. Okay, so first things first, I wanna walk you through the kit and what it comes with. And I also wanna discuss this. This is terrible. Don't worry about the instructions. They're terrible. So this is for the 2018 and newer models. The older models are a little bit different kit. So I just want to say that first. But the instructions that come with it are not good. So I did my research and I think I figured it out. And we're gonna work through this together and we'll get it done. This is what the kit comes with. The big plate, we're gonna call this the big plate and the small plate. Comes with a pack of screws and the terrible instructions. But basically, this will be the plate that your quick release bracket mounts to, like so. So this is going to be your quick release bracket here. This is going to mount something like this underneath, I believe. Like I said, these instructions, not clear at all. It's pretty terrible, honestly. Don't even, just get those out of here. All right. So I've got a handful of tools, 11mm socket, 11mm wrench, flat and a Phillips head screwdriver, and I've got a pair of diagonal cutters as well. And you will need a drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and I'll explain that here in just a second. So the 1/4 inch drill bit's gonna come in handy when you mount your Nucanoe puck. If you have motor guide, I'm sorry, that's trash, but it's okay. So for whatever reason, Nucanoe pre-drilled these holes, right? And that's gonna match your puck. This is the first step that needs to be done. You need to mount the puck first. But they pre-drilled these holes, right? And you're like, oh, sweet. But if you flip it over, they didn't go all the way through. So we're gonna have to punch through the bottom here with a 1/4 inch drill bit and finish those holes out. And then your plate can mount like that. Okay, like I said, the first thing we need to do is we need to get this puck mounted onto this plate, and it's fairly simple. I'm not sure exactly why they decided not to drill all these 4 holes all the way through the plate, but it's fine. We can take care of that. Just a 1/4 inch drill bit, nothing fancy. And all we're gonna do is follow these holes right where they already are and punch through the other side just like that. So repeat that step 3 more times and we'll be ready to bolt up the Nucanoe quick mount puck. So from there, pretty simple. This side is the side where your nut is gonna go and your washer. So nut and washer on this side. And this side is where your puck is actually going to sit, like so. Just like that. So we're making a mess here, but it's fine. Now, once you're done there, you're gonna need to take that pack of screws and you're gonna look for these. These are pan heads, I believe they're called. And the reason why is because they fit, flush in your quick mount. So you can see how that triangle shaped head fits right in there. Super easy. And then all it does is slip through the holes in your plate, just like this. And as you can see on the bottom, now you can throw your washer and your nut right on there and bolt it down. So we'll go ahead and get that done real quick, and then we can move on to the actual kayak side of the business. Go ahead and pop in the rest of these screws, and we'll throw the washers and nuts on there. This is where your Phillips head and your 11mm socket will come in. But for now, we'll just kind of do this finger tight on there. These are lock nuts, so you do not have to worry about any sort of locking washers. Okay, now that we've got them all in, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll need this 11mm socket and the Phillips head screwdriver. And we do want to get these fairly tight. I mean, this is where your trolling motor is going to be on here, and we're going to be putting a lot of pressure on it. So get those 4 tightened, and you're done with the first step. That's pretty simple. Bolt that quick mount puck on there, and then we'll move outside to the kayak and start with the mounting process on the front of the kayak. Okay, so moving on to the kayak. First things first, we got to get this front handle off the kayak. So the 2 holes on the handle are going to bolt into here. And I believe that's how it works. So if you notice the ridge here on the underside of this plate, that actually is going to match up to the nose of the kayak. And you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. But let's get this handle off first, and then we'll work from there. Okay, so removing the handle, as easy as it gets. 2 Phillips head screws. All you'll need is your Phillips head screwdriver. These guys just pop right out. 1 little screw on each side. Super quick, super easy. And just like that, your handle's off. Now, if you'll notice, here on the front, there's your threaded inserts. And that's going to be used to bolt the big plate. So the big plate and the little plate. And I'll explain what I mean by the big plate and the little plate. Okay, so I talked about the big plate having the ridges, and this is the small plate. So we'll look on both. They have these cuts underneath them. So these cuts will fit right along here. And the big plate has this triangular shape, and that is for the triangular shape on the front of the kayak. So essentially, this piece, the small plate, is going to fit like this. And if you can see those ridges on the bottom, they fit right in with the shape of the kayak. I'm gonna try to get a good shot for you here. Yeah, you can really see it there. How those ridges kind of, they sit. So if you're moving it forward, it just kind of stops because it fits perfectly there. Now, if you look down in these holes, I don't know if you can see, but anyways, there's your threaded inserts where your handle was. Now, the big plate is going to go literally on top of that small plate. So you're trying to match these holes on the big plate to the holes on the bottom plate. So again, we're going to take the big plate with that triangle cut out there, and it's going to fit right on the nose of the kayak here. Let me get a shot of that for you. There you go. That's perfect. You can see it there really well. So again, there's your ridge, and it fits just like that onto the nose of the kayak, so it sits nice and flush. So again, I'm going to run through this one more time for you because I haven't really seen any great videos on this. So remove the handle, and you have your threaded inserts. Take your small plate and match those ridges to the shape of the kayak until it fits nice and snug like that. And you'll see it kind of doesn't want to move once you have it fit. Now those holes lined up with your threaded inserts from your handle. Then you're going to take the big plate, throw it on top, just like that, so it fits nice and flush on there. Very simple, guys. And again, I'm kind of wondering why the instructions that come with this don't explain it better. I mean, it is very easy to do, but I feel like for someone that's never dealt with anything like this or doesn't do anything, any kind of projects or build anything, it may be hard to understand. Now, I do want to note that it doesn't really come with any extra nuts and bolts, but I believe here you're supposed to drill a hole. Again, this is not in the instructions, but you're supposed to drill a hole through the front of the kayak, use the access hatch to get in, and put a bolt and a nut. That is going to be kind of difficult to do, but as you can see, everything lines up nicely. I know it's hard to see through those holes, but your bolts go straight down in there, and they bolt in to the inserts where the handle was. All right, so up until this point, I've explained just about everything that you have to do. And we're going to take these 2 bolts that come with it and the big washers. Here, let me get you a better view. So pull those out of the pack. It's 1 big washer, and I believe this is like a 2" by quarter inch. Pretty simple and pretty straightforward. It is just going to go into this outside hole, which goes through both the big plate and the small plate and into those threaded inserts where your handle was. So straight through the top, and may have to do a little finagling here, but let's see how well I can get it done. Trying to do this one-handed, holding the camera. It's pretty fun. All right, so I think I got it to start threading. Yep. So I'm not going to tighten that all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other screw and move to this side and do the same thing. So make sure you put that washer. Don't forget, it only comes with those 2 washers, and that's what it's for. So there's only 2 big washers, these 2 big ones. Again, the smaller 4 washers go on the actual quick mount puck here. Bigger washers are for this part. So go ahead and tighten these down. Nothing special here, guys. You're just using a Phillips head. I wouldn't use a drill, wouldn't recommend it. I just want to tighten these by hand so I know exactly how tight they are. And I don't want to over tighten them with a drill. So a hand screwdriver, I think, is going to be best here to do this. Feels pretty tight. Now, I would check these, and this is just my recommendation, but I would go ahead and check these guys. I would say maybe once every 4 or 5 trips that you take, or every trip. If you're going to take that trolling motor off the quick mount, you might as well go ahead and check those screws and make sure that they're still tight. If I was a smart man, which I am not, I would have put some Loctite on there, which I don't think I have any, but some red Loctite would probably do wonders on those. But I definitely would check them probably, if not every trip, at least every other trip. And if not, it may come loose and you lose your trolling motor. So pretty simple. I mean, once you throw your trolling motor here, you pull that trolling motor off and then check your screws and make sure they're tight. Now, you see the front is loose. Let's see the front is loose. So unfortunately, Nucanoe didn't send anything for the front. This is all we have left, and I don't even know what these 4 are for. These 4 are for. So these could be, if you were unfortunate enough to own a motor guide, maybe the motor guide brackets are a little different. I'm not sure, but I know that this is for my Minn Kota, and the Minn Kota take these panhead style bolts because they fit directly into those mounts, nice and flush. Matter of fact, they're countersunk. So these 4 may have been for if you unfortunately have a motor guide, if you own a motor guide. Maybe that's what that's for. But this part definitely needs a bolt in the front. So we may have to make like a hardware store run or something. I don't know. I'll have to check my toolboxes and see if I have anything. All right, so I believe I found a stainless steel bolt there that I had in my toolbox, along with a couple of washers and a lock nut that will work for the front. Now, I will preface this by saying you're gonna have to drill a hole into your kayak, so yeah, be careful. It's a little nerve-wracking to do this, but I don't know. I've drilled holes in kayaks before. It's not that bad. So I'm just gonna take my 1/4-inch drill bit and I'm gonna go straight down into the kayak. Wish me luck. There it is. You can see the colors of the kayak plastic, so it should be all the way through. Drilling holes in kayaks is a lot of fun. So the only way that I see making this happen is basically opening the hatch, and you're gonna have to reach your hand all the way in there, which is gonna be very, very difficult. So I may do that off camera because I have no idea how to hold the camera or any of that to make that shot work. I wanted to give you a shot of what those rod tubes look like inside the kayak. So we may have to get in there. We may have to get in there and snip those zip ties that are in there, those cable ties, and be able to get our hand right here in the front of the kayak. This is going to be very, very difficult, and I may not be able to get it done alone, but I'll try my best. If not, I'll try and get someone to help me this weekend to finish it. But that's pretty much it, man. You slap the trolling motor on here and you're good to go. Now, obviously, you'll have to do everything else that comes along with that, including the wiring and everything for your trolling motor, which unfortunately I don't have all the materials for that, but I can make a video on how to wire up the kayak. If you want to see that, let us know in the comments, and I can do a full video on the wiring too, to help explain it to you and get you an idea of what you may need to do. And I would imagine that this is pretty similar to other Nucanoe kayaks, but I can't tell you because I've never done it. But yeah, I would imagine that's pretty damn similar. And I'll go ahead and slap the trolling motor on here so you can see what it looks like. And I'll have to try and get that bolt on the front, on the nose of the kayak. I mean, that's going to be very difficult for me to do, but I may have to wait until this weekend to get a hand doing that, because it's going to be very hard for me to do. But I'll grab the trolling motor, slap it on the front so you can see it. Again, like I said, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a wiring video. I can do that for you as well. And honestly, a wiring video is very universal. You know, I'll show you on this kayak, and you can do it with any other kayak. It'll basically give you the standard idea of how to do it. It's not very difficult. One wire, a couple of plugs, and some silicone to make sure all the holes that you have to drill are waterproof. But yeah, let me know. Drop that in the comments, and we can make a video of that. Not a problem. But I'm gonna grab the trolling motor off the boat, and we'll slap it on the kayak. All right, now we've slapped it onto the front of the kayak. I'll have to throw the locking pin in there. Obviously that goes in here, but it's not wiggling in as easy as I would like it, but I'll have to finagle with it. Finagle, what a word. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Pretty smooth looking, I'm not gonna lie. I like it. And yes, I do have the back of the kayak resting on the lawnmower hood. It's okay, it'll be fine. But that's what she looks like when she's mounted up. And like I said, I do still have to get that screw on the very nose. So don't forget about that important part. Definitely throw that bolt through there and underneath here. So unfortunately, I can't do that because I'm by myself making this video. But there it is. Pretty simple. It really wasn't difficult. And hey, look, if you have any questions at all, just drop them in the comments. I'll try and answer the best I can. And I'll probably do a wiring video as well whenever I get those parts ordered, because I will have to order the matching plug for this. Just a little Amazon special there. So I've already ordered one for the boat, so I should be able to just look in my previously purchased and get the female plug and figure out where to mount it. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. It'll probably honestly end up going right here. I know that's a nice pretty Nucanoe emblem, but anyways, the trolling motor's mounted. Again, don't forget about that very front nose bolt. It's pretty straightforward. I explained it to you. You know, you're gonna have to drill a hole through the front, undo those rod tubes that run along here, these rod tubes here. So don't forget, those are all the way to the nose. You'll have to probably undo those, move those out the way, reach your hand in through the hatch all the way to the front to get the nut on. But I'll have to get somebody to help me this weekend with that. All right, well, that about wraps it up for that vid. Pretty simple. Like I said, it wasn't very hard to do. Just takes a handful of tools, you know, a drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, an 11 millimeter socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver. I mean, that's all I used. And you may need the open end wrench, again 11 millimeters, or it may not be 11 millimeters depending on what bolts you have for the front of your yak. Now you can go buy any stainless steel. I do recommend stainless steel since it's going to be in the water. But that's it. She's mounted up and ready to go. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, of course, like the video, subscribe. You know the deal. Pretty simple to hit the subscribe button to help us out. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Peace.